the highs and lows of presenting. We're gonna first start. So here's how this is gonna go. Each team is gonna have maximum of 10 minutes to present their work. You guys all have slides. We're gonna start with the high schoolers and then move into the college teams. Before we do that, we'll have the judges introduce themselves again, just that we all kind of do it. Just a quick one for the mentors who have already introed, but we do have some just designated judges. And then what we'll do is as we go through these presentations, all judges should have access to the spreadsheet. If you don't, say something. And you should add scores as we go for each team. On one tab is the high school teams. On the other tab are the college teams, 1 through 10 for each category. College, high school teams, you've already received the rubrics that we're kind of grading on, so you'll know kind of what you'll be graded on. We'll go through it for each of them. At the very end of these 5 teams of 10 minutes max, you can go a little shorter if you want. The judges will get together for 7 minutes, have a quick combo, and then announce winners for high school and university. So that's how I'll go. And winners get a special prize, which will be cool. And we'll reveal the prize at the end. So without much further ado, let's have judges introduce themselves. So let's start with Jessica. Jessica, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
After, and then we'll go to quick recap from the mentors.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you. Jessica here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Misogy Labs. I have a background in bioengineering, and we're building AI tools for scientists to help accelerate drug discovery.
Sweet.
Amazing.
Professor Ray?
Sure. My name is Manjeet Rege. I'm the chair and professor of software engineering and data science and a director for the Center for Applied Artificial Intelligence at University of St. Thomas.
Awesome. And have to shout out to Professor Ray, who was an awesome judge last year too. So for those who participated last year, you may recognize him. Let's go into, I believe, our mentors. Just quick recap. So judges, you can kind of see who was mentoring us here too, which is kind of fun. Jay, do you want to kick it off? We can just do it short.
Sure, yeah, Jade, and yeah, I was mentoring. So I'm a senior software engineer at Drone Deploy. And I forgot to intro earlier, I'm also currently a part-time student at the University of Minnesota. I finishing up my bachelor's degree, which I never got.
Right on. That's a great story. Let's go
In
to
computer
Awad.
science or
Multidisciplinary studies, but focusing on computer science.
nice.
You wanted, let's go to you.
Yeah, I can go next. Hello, everyone. I introduced myself earlier this morning. I was a mentor for Team 1, and I will be a judge today. I am a software engineer at a startup in the Bay Area. It's a business analytics tool. It's called Sigma Computing, and I'm also a graduate of the University of Minnesota.
Outstanding. Let's go to Moog.
Yeah, hey everyone. I was the mentor for Team 5, but in spite of that, I will do my best to be impartial during judging. I didn't say earlier, I'm from Plymouth, Minnesota originally, and then most recently I was working at Square.
Right on. And then I'm trying to see. Let's see. We have Professor Ray, Jessica, Jig, Moog, Juana, and then Luke. So I organized Northland Hackathon for the last 4 years now. Every year it's a little bit different. This year we've opened it up to college students, which has been super fun. And I think that's something we're going to do a lot more of in the future as well, having dual tracks. And yeah, just thanks for spending your Saturday trying to build stuff. And again, just a huge shout out to all the mentors and judges for also spending your Saturday doing this, kind of helping kids kind of get into CS and giving that mentorship. Definitely wouldn't be possible without you guys. And I think, like, honestly, is the most fun part of the day is just getting to work with the pros. So with that, let's go into Salapaka. I'll go over to you if you want to just screen present your slides and walk through what you built.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Okay, so
And judges, just pull up the spreadsheet, and as they go, just mark in the scores next to your name.
Can I still judge them even though I mentor them, or should I leave it
yeah,
there?
totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you receive the spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Just no betting, just no hackathon betting. We don't do that. Okay, over to you, Salafaka.
Okay, so are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we developed a Discord bot named Nexus. We are Team Salapaka, Team 1, and our mentor was Ayana, so here we go.
All right, to start off, most of us every single day use messaging apps, but a lot of these messaging apps have a lot of problems. To start off, there's a huge amount of text. If you leave for 1 hour, you might come back to over hundreds of texts, which may take a lot of time to read. Also, there's many conflicting ideas within these texts, which can be annoying and very boring some to read. And with people trying to talk about the availabilities, you have to scroll between so many different texts and trying to find these availabilities, which takes up a lot of time in our day. Also, back and forth messages, a lot of the time are the same thing, just like repeating over and over. And it's kind of hard to like understand what is going on if you don't read all the messages, which takes even more time. And if you're like planning events, for example, if you need to count how many people are coming, you need to like look between all these tags trying to identify who's coming, who's not, and this can take hours or like a huge amount of time.
Thus, we came up with a solution, and our solution is Nexus. Nexus is an all-encompassing chatbot that allows you to simplify your messages for your daily use. It summarizes text, it decides events based on preferences and availability, based on whether people say they're available from this time to this time, or whether they prefer, I don't know, sushi over pizza or cats over dogs. Those things will all be factored in, and Nexus can decide a general solution for people to vote on. Which brings us to our next point. Nexus allows people to equally vote and have an equal opportunity and equal say when it comes to deciding events or deciding things that they want to go to during the day.
Free?
All right, so now let's move over to a demonstration. So are you guys able to see Discord here?
Yeah, I love the live demo. This is great.
Okay, so here's the bot in the server, and so here is a meetup test. So let's assume that we want to meet up now. So there's a bunch of messages here, and the way Nexus works is that we can say, let's tell Nexus to scan all of these messages in the channel. We have 3 options: limit, check preferences, and use keywords. Since there's not really that many messages, I won't limit that. There's default values for all of these, so I can just click this in, it'll just scan everything, and it will ensure that we check for preferences. So we can check for preferences or use keywords or not. So if we do that, go ahead and we found 20 available all of this stuff. And then after we scan the messages in, we can do slash. So we have slash commands here, and we can go ahead and suggest something for everyone to do. So if I do that, it looks like Nexus came up with 3 events for everyone to do. So swimming, games and dinner, and a dinner at a local restaurant. And here's Dave and Buster's, and then a community pool. So this is all based on the messages up here. So Snowman really wanted to go swimming, and then some people wanted to go to Dave and Buster's, stuff like that. All right, so now let's say we want to pick an activity now, so we can start the vote. And well, if everyone in the server just decides to vote for something, so let's say everyone wants to go to dinner. After 3 minutes, this vote will automatically close, but I can also end it early, so I'm going to do that. And we see that games and dinner won the vote. And there we go. So now everyone can go games and dinner at 7 p.m., which is also when everyone is available. All right. So the next feature is summarizing a conversation. So here's a short conversation between Eric and Sanjeev about sushi and food. So I can go ahead and say, all right, maybe I don't want to read all of that. So I can tell Nexus to summarize this conversation. I can, again, limit how many messages I want, but since there isn't that many, I'll just leave it at the default value, which is 50. And then I can also tell it to focus on a specific thing, so I can say for it to focus on food, or I could leave that out and then it would just summarize everything. So if I tell it to focus on food, Nexus will go ahead and summarize the last 50 messages or so about food. And we see that we have a nice bullet point summary of the conversation.
Sweet. So it's kind of like you can just catch up, you can summarize all your messages as you're kind of saying here. And then question I have is, oh, I'm sorry, I'm messing up the Q&A. Aaron, continue.
All right. So now let me go back to the slides.
Okay, so now we'll go over how we made this Discord bot, how we made Nexus. So to code this, we used Python and discord.py, and that's what we used to create the code for this bot. And then we basically made the bot parse through, like Aaron said, a limit of previous messages. So for example, 50, it would parse through the last 50 messages in a Discord channel, and then it would store the user data from those 50 messages. It would then take the messages that corresponded to meeting up or preferences about a location or time and put that into OpenAI AI chatbot to suggest a time and place. So we had to suggest 30 times and 30 different places that it could go. And then we also just coded this with nice Discord slashes for commands to make it modern and fit with a Discord look.
All right, so what we learned is that we had teamwork, so everyone brought different perspectives, which made the project better, different ideas. We assigned roles and responsibilities. So just general teamwork, especially with these coding projects, which we didn't really have much experience with, which was an initial struggle. We also got to learn how to use an API like Discord's API as well as OpenAI's API to integrate Discord, the Discord bot, as well as the ChatGPT output generation. And we also learned how to use time handling libraries for the voting process. And then we also got to practice our creative minds to come up with some unique solutions with problems that happen in our daily lives. And that concludes our presentation. So any questions?
I thought you guys this is a great project. Yeah, amazing project. What I would say, so question for you is, so the times. So when people are available, how do people, so basically where do you get the data about when people are available for those hangouts? Is it just happen in the chats, or do you get their available?
So the bot, basically, if you're having conversation about when you can meet, the bot kind of just looks for those times when it parses through that information. So the user actually has to like describe the times they want to go, but it just looks at what the user said and uses that directly to create a suggestion.
Yeah, and when it's parsing through, if you select the keyword option, it will use like a bunch of keywords. Like, for example, if you want to do time, it'll look for specific words and messages like available or PM or AM or time or I'm free or stuff like that, basically to narrow out messages that talk about when someone is available. So then we can isolate the messages determining when someone is available.
Awesome. We have 90 seconds left. So another question from the judges or mentors.
Curious about architecture. How is this run, or is this like hosted somewhere?
Yeah, well, I'm hosting it on my local computer. So we use VS Live Share to program this together. And then, yeah, it's just hosted on my local computer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions from judges or mentors?
What do you think was the biggest? Oh, one quick question. What was the biggest challenge in this project?
I think the biggest challenge was honestly setting up the API to get the Discord bot to connect to the code, and then also like invite it to the server and make sure that those first commands were working. Because especially at the start, it was at first, it didn't have any commands in it. And then after that, it used exclamation points instead of slashes, which we wanted to fix to make it like fit into Discord's GUI more and make it more accessible.
Awesome. Team, this is an amazing project for judges and mentors. You can either fill in your scores for it now or wait for the following team to kind of have a reference point. But I just want to say, great job, team. This was a really cool project, and yeah, just awesome to see this type of work. So really, you guys got a lot to be proud of, and make sure everyone's filled out a form too, because we'll send you all a t-shirt. So just make sure to do that as well. Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing work. Let's go to team number 2. The artist also known as, oh man, I can't find your team name. Captain.ai. Over to you, team. Ian, do you want to start that clock once we start going?
Yeah, and as soon as they start speaking.
I call this freezing the kicker on the presentation. Andres, are you presenting this one, or who do you have over there?
Yeah, I think I can take it from here. So this is Captain. It's a project we worked on. I think our team can introduce ourselves. I'm Dries.
I'm Hudson.
Oh, well, there are a few more members. They're a bit shy though. I think we get started. So we've all been there, it's a Friday night. We're just tired, and with our friends, we want to get some food. And the issue is there's always this one guy who wants burgers. Maybe someone wants tacos. Maybe someone wants pizza. And just democracy is just so annoying because you have to go through all of these possible solutions. And then when you finally get to the restaurant, then you have to actually pick the menu items. It's just annoying, When I go to a restaurant, and when lots of other people just go to a restaurant, they want to get there, talk with their friends, and get their food. They don't want all of this arguing. And sometimes, the plans even fall through because you just cannot agree on a restaurant. So that's what Captain does for you.
Yeah, so picking restaurants is boring and frustrating. Super annoying, like Dries was saying, when you get a group of guys together, group of friends, and you spend half your night deciding where to eat. You spend the other quarter waiting for the food, and then once you get done eating, everyone's tired and they just want to go home. And so that's why we created Captain.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, it's you.
Yeah, so now that we discussed the problem of picking restaurants, let's dive into the creativity of our solution. So our project aims to revolutionize how we choose where to eat by introducing a fun and engaging approach. It allows us to insert different food personalities, and it can create a choice in seconds. Imagine a platform that not only simplifies the decision-making process, but also adds an element of excitement to it. This is all about making food choices quick, enjoyable, and tailored to individual preferences.
Spot on.
And so, yeah, what Captain does is it takes in, you can add users, so you add members of your friend group to the program. You can input, the types of food they want. So let's say Dries, he wants burgers and pizza. Me on the other hand,
love burgers.
I want tacos and some drinks. You can find kind of like a middle ground, or you can find a restaurant in your local area that can satisfy those needs, or the restaurant that best satisfies those needs.
Yeah, of course. And now for my favorite part, let's get into the demo. So right here, this is Captain. This is kind of what we have right now. Let's enter myself first. Dries Lamry. Like Hudson said, love burgers. What else? Maybe some pizza. Let's add the Hudson here. Hudson, what are you feeling after this presentation?
Yeah, I'm going tacos.
Tacos naturally.
And some mocktails.
Some mocktails. Ooh, that's a great choice. And maybe Luke, you have something that you might want. We could add you to the order.
Fajitas. I'm a big fajita guy.
Oh, fajitas.
Fajitas.
That's a classic.
It's a great call.
So let's connect you to the node, and using the power of the ChatGPT API, in theory, we can actually get some results. So first, it's gonna kind of find a middle ground between all of our preferences, and then from there, using Google Maps, it's gonna find the restaurants in our area, and then actually, what it will do is it will scrap the restaurant data and find the exact menu items that we might be most likely to pick. So let's run the simulation, see what shows up. All right. Zoom in on this. Okay. Step 1 complete. That's perfect. Finding the restaurants. All right. And last step, analyzing the menu items. And now it's going to load the results. Let's see if it works. Okay. Well, that's a start, right? That's pretty impressive. And right now, what I always say in presentations is you shouldn't look at a project how it is right now. You should always visualize it as it will be in the future. And given lots of investment money, hopefully after the presentation, we are taking investors for a pre-seed. This will be fully integrated with all of your systems. But yeah, in the right side, there would be more menu items for me, Hudson, and Luke. But for now, I guess we're all getting burgers. So yeah.
Yeah, so for our process, we used a lot of different resources. We obviously used Visual Studio Code and Cursor for our code
The
editors.
front end development, yeah.
Yeah, we used TypeScript, Next.js, and Cloudflare. And then we also used something kind of novel called React Flow. Dries, want to talk about that a little more?
Yeah, it was a library I found a few days ago, and when I just looked at it, I was like, "Wow, we need to make a project with this." So I didn't really have much experience with it, but through this project, through Captain, I was really able to enhance my skills in that. And of course, just just a classic Tailwind CSS Shad CN. That's how we get this beautiful UI over here. Yeah. So here's what we learned. It's like I said earlier, it's not about how things are; it's about how things may be in the future. And the number one takeaway from this is really the power of teamwork. Starting off, we didn't really have the most technically advanced team, but I feel like throughout our whole journey and throughout the guidance of our mentor, who was extremely helpful throughout the whole process, we were really able to create something great. And in the future, like I said, we are taking investors right now. Hopefully, we can make this the next big thing. So yeah, thank you for your time.
Man.
Thank you.
Yeah, whoa. Settle down, room. Settle down. That was great. I love this presentation. Yeah, it's so good. So, question. So, there's like two different flows that you guys had in your presentation. There was like the processing pipeline of like choosing what you wanted, and then there was the actual like visualization of what you had. How did those two connect? Did you take the output from that pipeline and then display it on a web page, or how did you guys do that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is kind of not real right now. It's all front end. We were planning on making like it fully integrated with like ChatGPT and actually the Google Maps API, but we were a bit short staffed near the end. But really the vision was we would have like the images here of like restaurants nearby, like in each of these like custom components, and then it would actually like display some of the menu items, so you could like take part in the process. It would be more cool. But yeah, after that, you have it would actually like display the restaurant, some of the menu items from the outline of the output of the pipeline. That was the vision, at least.
Well, I gotta tell you, I think that it was awesome seeing y'all pick tools for the job to get what you needed to get done. Part of this work is picking the right tool for the job, and with a team with varying skill levels and people just kind of dipping their toes in. The people want to go a little deeper. This is a great way to kind of get people onboarded and to build something. So, shout out to the stack choice and some very cool functionality with that. Judges, manners, any other questions or comments?
Yeah, quick question. It wasn't super clear to me. So yeah, I think at some point you said that this is just front end, so this is not connected to any GitHub, to any ChatGPT API. Is this correct?
Well, for now at least, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure. Okay, thank you.
I have a queue. How did you do it, or how did you work on your UI?
Yes, the UI. So all of this right here, this is React Flow. It's a pretty cool library I found. It's what they use for Zapier and Stripe and all of those other automation tools. A lot of the components here, they're from the Shad CN component library. And yeah, I don't know, just lots of tinkering, I guess.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so judges, we're gonna any other questions? Question for you, Dris, as we have a little time. I saw that you saw the found this great like node, like a React Node product that you're kind of showing right here. How did you how did you find this on the interwebs?
I have no idea. I could not tell you. I was probably just searching Reddit. I genuinely have no clue, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, awesome project. Again, just big shout out. Also amazing presentation.
Thank you.
I haven't laughed that hard at a presentation for a while. Amazing presentation. Take my money. Take all my money.
Oh, all right. Yeah, thank you. I'll send you the term sheet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let me $2 million limit minimum. So let's
yeah.
let's go over to the college teams.
All right. Thank you.
Great job, team. Let's go to the college teams. And we have team number three, Glacial Hack. Glacial Hack, will turn it over to you. Thank you, judges, for getting your scores in. And then if you look at the bottom of the tab, there's the judging criteria for uni. So that will be the second one.
All right, then am I allowed to share my desktop now?
Let me see if we can see it. I can't see your deck yet.
Can you see it now?
I just see awesome anime.
All right, let's go. Itachi all day.
All day.
So you know what? I'll just start running it in the background right now.
Oh, I'm already pumped.
Oh. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. Whenever you guys are ready to start.
Let's go.
All right.
You're muted.
Yeah, me.
Oh wait.
Am I muted?
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
you don't need to.
Yeah.
Just speak here.
Yes. Yep. Hello, everyone. I'm Vishesh, and we are a group of 5. We are Glacial Hack from Winona State University. Oh, you can't see my friends. My bad. I have blurred my background. So yeah. Let me introduce my friends.
Right.
Oh, you guys go.
Yep. Let's just turn out our camera.
Yep.
Just a second.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Wait,
Team.
my camera still.
It's kind of weird because all of us are in the same place, and if we turn on our mic, it'll be horrible. So please bear with us.
We'll bear with you. No worries. These slides look great.
Thank you.
Alrighty then. Hopefully you got to see all of us. Now, let's move to our second slide, where we'll talk about what did we make. So we made Quick Note AI. So let's start with a little question, all right? So ever faced the tedious task of having to summarize all your notes at the end of a long day? Yes? Well, we are here to break the cycle. Quick Note AI is a web-based note app where all you need to do is take note and a summary is generated for you by one of the best LLM out there. And I say best because we can pick whichever works great for you. So it can be cloud, it can be whatever. Some of the features that our web app has right now are: don't want to write your notes? We have you covered with our speech to text feature. Don't want to read your notes? Guess what? Quick Note AI comes with text to speech as well. And last but not the least, we have a built-in mood tracker to help you figure out what do you enjoy the most, like such as journaling, taking notes for a specific subject, and like just check your mood in general. For example, I like journaling, so I will journal for 30 days, and at the end of the month, I will get a little summary saying, hey, you enjoyed doing this today. This month, you were happy for 15 days and you're pretty depressed for the rest of the month. Stuff like that, right? Now let's move ahead and go to the project demo. Reload it.
Hey, this looks pretty nice.
Just a
Forgive
second,
me.
guys. It needs
Just gotta
to be
restart
done.
this.
Okay, good to go.
Wonderful.
Oh no, this is 127. Just a second.
Yep.
Whoops.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulty.
Oh my God, this is great. No, these live demos are no joke.
We are on the wrong local host. Let's go. Let's go.
There we go.
We're so back.
All right. So as you can see, this is how our website looks. And just from a quick look at it, you can see that we try to make it as visually appealing as possible. And so right now, just for a test run, let's think about something we want to type about. Right now, I'm thinking hackathon. That's what I've been thinking about the entire day, mostly. And we'll just take a small, right here, sorry, a small snippet. Okay, one more time.
Having some technical difficulties.
Not used to this mouse. All right, and we'll copy and paste that in
Bruh.
here.
All right.
Wait, look.
I promise you guys, we are
We are
computer
professionals.
science students. We actually know what we are doing.
Awesome.
Okay, done.
All right, and after we have it in there, of course, we'll submit it. And wait a minute, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. And boom. So a short note summary pops up, giving you a nice, conclusive piece of information about what you just typed, and of course, a mood check telling me that my tone is neutral. Of course it is, because I took it from Wikipedia. And then we can click over here if we want to make a new note. And let's say I don't feel like typing or copying and pasting, I want to use my voice. We can do that as well with our record audio function. Let's see. This is gonna be the first time we test this over Zoom. So let's see. Like testing, 1, 2.
Hello.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Testing, 1, 2. Can you hear me? And stop. And then we can also press read aloud.
Testing, 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Could you hear that? All right,
Yes.
I see nods, I see nods. All right. Love that. And that's what we have for this.
And then
And
if we were to summarize what we just spoke, we could still do it by submitting it. I don't think it will make anything
different.
good pop up, but we can definitely try it. There we go.
Oh, would you look at that?
Look at that.
Look at that.
Exactly what I was
Let's
thinking.
go. And now,
All right. And where's
I think it's over here.
Presentation.
Where's our presentation?
Yeah, here
We are here.
and now we've gone through the demo, we can go over some of the things that
we use.
We used to build a project, like how we cooked.
Yep. Here is all the source we're using in this project. And our backend, we use the Java, Spring, Olama, and the Llama 3.2. And for our front end, we're using the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. For database, we use the MySQL. Version control, GitHub, and the communications, Zoom, Discord, and Slack. Now pass to next.
So for every project, there are takeaways we learned, stuff like that. So let's talk about that. I know it's boring, but let's talk about it.
Takeaway, skills that we were able to further sharpen. Learn a lot more about Spring Framework, of course, and time management and teamwork.
So what worked for us? Let's talk about that. We have been planning for this day for a really long time. I think 1 month ago, we started planning the day, like where are we going to, where the location is going to be, what food are we going to eat, possible topics, like we brainstormed a lot, like pretty much every weekend. And then the tech stack that we will use and researched on them. Now let's talk about what skills did we acquire.
So now we learned that the importance of clear and concise conversation. We learned that about APIs and LLMs as well. Also, we achieved a new we also achieved new thing. That was hurry makes bad curry. That was funny. Okay.
All right.
I like
so
it.
Last but not the least, any questions? We do have all of it in our GitHub repo, and that's the repo right there. If you guys wanna go there and build it for yourself. So judges?
Questions, comments, concerns?
Great presentation. This one again, I just love these presentations. Also, thank you so much for amazing memes throughout the slides. Definitely keeps it fun. I'm loving this cat looking at me.
Oh yeah.
Love it. It's essential. Also super cool that you guys planned it out in advance. That's great to hear. Come back next year. We're gonna push to have more university teams as well. So you'll have more of a it'll be a deeper field, which will be fun. One question I have is, so right now you're inputting notes and you're inputting audio. Do you save that at all? And do you look at trends across notes, or do you have any like saving of these notes at all, or is it just all in the front end?
Yep, it is. All of the notes are saved to our database. I can actually show you the database. It should be somewhere here. So if you see it, this is us doing some demo over here, different stuff. Zotero. And the one that we just did, let me refresh it and I can show you live that it saves. So we're talking about testing, 1, 2, can you hear me? So we have that recorded, we have the mood, we have summary, and we have timestamp. For now, we are not summarizing, like we are not, what is it called? Like
across notes.
Yeah, across the different journals, what does mood look like?
Just like singular or something.
Yeah. Right now, because we didn't have enough time to get to that function. But yeah, it is definitely doable because we have data, and writing a function shouldn't be that hard.
This looks great. I want to turn it over to another Judge Minter if Judge Minter, another one has a question, but I saw what I needed to see. That looks great.
All right, let's go.
Other judges and mentors, any questions?
Yeah, one quick question. I'm curious, how does the audio transcription work?
So the audio transcriptions work. Do you want to answer it, Zach?
Yeah, so the audio transcription works, I find the source from the online, there's the source library like can turn speech to text. That's why I try to find the first, and I just find another one is the text to speech. So we can do like both in together in one project.
So yeah, basically we were trying to find for a library that would turn speech to text and happen to come across text to speech. So we're like, yeah, why not? So we added both of them.
Very cool. And then that's being sent from the front end to the back end, I assume?
That is from the backend, Zach.
Yeah, it's backend.
Yep, it is backend.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'm gonna have to steal that.
Oh,
that's awesome. You might have to write that $2 million check in a mug. That's yeah.
Yeah, let's go. We are a big team, so we need it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Any other questions?
Could you paste your repo here in the chat?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Just give me a second.
Great job, team. Let's go to sure. Here is a list of cool team names, team 4. And we'll go into that in that next presentation.
Second, let me turn off my screen sharing.
Yeah, great job, team. That was awesome.
Everyone, thank you.
All right, guys, thank you.
Okay, team 4. Let's go into sure. Here is a list of cool team names. There it is.
Cool name.
Yeah, we were
Guys
laughing.
hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Cool. So here's a list of cool names, and here's our names. They're the cool ones. Okay.
That's great.
So, like, we decided to automate schedule making because, like, when you're in college, you have to make your own schedule. However, that's a lot of choices, and choices are hard. Furthermore, some teachers really suck, and you want to find a good teachers, and that's another layer of complexity. Therefore, we thought, hey, why don't we make a system that automatically makes schedules for you using data from Read My Professor? And here is our project. As you can see, it does not work. However, yep, I mean, it has a cool background. Yeah, but we spend most of our time working on the back end. That's why the front end is non-existent. But the back end, you can see some cool stuff. As you can see here, we are storing data to our Postgres database, and we parse through, like we web scraped for the names of professors, and we stored them. And here is an enormous mess of data. This is what we had to like look through to like make stuff work. And here's all of that data. Once it's been cleaned, as you can see, we have the course name and the course ID. And we took that out of this mess, so I'm proud of that. And as for the tools we used, surprise, we used a bunch of tools. As you can see, we also use Spring and we use Svelte. Now, Svelte is special. because nobody else ever uses it for some reason, but we used it, therefore we're special. We also use GitHub and Visual Studio Code to program, and we use Postgres to run the database. And I guess we use Svelte too. Svelte is just like Svelte, but with some added stuff. And now you can do stuff. I don't think they can hear you. Can you hear him?
No, he might need the mic. You might have to bestow it upon him. Pass in the mic.
Hi, can you hear me now?
I got you, Ryan.
Okay. So RIT has a schedule maker student developed website that is like fully implemented version of what we tried to replicate. We were just trying to basically do the same thing and recreate it in our own way. So we gathered information, the course information from this site because we needed to sign in, and the RIT schedule information was encrypted, so we couldn't really access it.
We weren't just trying to recreate that, we're improving.
That too.
Yeah,
we are just trying to recreate it. So their schedule maker helps you make a schedule. Our schedule maker makes it for you. We're going the next step.
Which we didn't get to, but yes. And then can you go on the next slide?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the next part was gathering information from Rate My Professor. And we did this through web scraping and getting the URL of each professor's name, and then automatically searching that up and returning their rating and inputting that into the database. And then there are many things we learned. A lot of it was front and back end, different server management. We spent most of the time on the back end creating the database, but we also did, or planned to do, we had plans for some of the front end UI setup, and making that communicate and integrate each other together. We learned a lot about that process. Server hosting, I personally had never used Spring before, so that was a new thing for me. Database management, managing the entities with JPA and Hibernate, and using like the different repositories to keep everything together. And then lastly, web scraping and data integration. We scraped using Java software JSoup and just using object initiation to put together the courses and professors and tie everything up together nicely. And and lastly, we have our code, we have our GitHub. So,
yeah. And you guys want to see the actual code. As you can see,
there's a lot of it. So here's all of our backend code. We have DTOs, controllers, entities, repositories, services, and here's all the scraping we're doing. Can you guys see stuff? Oh, you definitely cannot see stuff.
I just see your presentation.
Oh, this is because I have multiple screens, probably. Is this it? No.
Still have presentation?
No. Okay, what if I just, let's see. Oh, what? They're working now?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think you're sharing not your screen, but you're like a window.
Wait, did I change it?
Oh yeah, now
Let's
we're
go.
seeing.
Okay, over here, so here's all of our backend code, and here's our scrapers. And as you can see, once we run this, it calls like this whole mess of a HTTP request. And this return, oh yeah, knock out of that data. Seeing this returns a bunch of JSON files. And seeing we like take that and turn it into actual entity files. And yeah, here's all the stuff. And as for the front end, like we got started making this one Svelte component that's supposed to get all the courses. Like it calls, let's see, under utilities, we have a bunch of functions. And here's how we're like counting all of the Spring endpoints. But it's not working. So that's sad. But we wrote a lot of code. Cool. Any questions?
I love this project. I think the fact that it's not working just kind of shows like the ambitiousness y'all have with this project of just like accessing third-party sites, going through all this data that you're pulling. Oftentimes that's trying to intentionally hide it in ways that make it hard to scrape. And you're still finding a way to scrape it, which is cool. I know we talked earlier, so shout out, tip of the hat for that. I know we talked earlier about pulling out some of those like professor names out of that like extract like that it was like an XML file. How did you end up cleaning up that data? Did you use regex? How did you pull those out? Jay Corey?
We ended up not using that file because as it turns out, we needed to authenticate ourselves to get that data. And so we couldn't do it that way. But we found another website that we did not need to authenticate into that also had all of the data. And it gave us a gzip file of JSON data. So we oh man, where is it? So we unzipped it using this fancy loop. And then we unzipped it into a JSON file. We converted it to a JSON array, and that's how we were able to get all of the fields.
Awesome. Yeah, that offer scraping problem is a real one. And there's of course like a lot of cool like headless agents you can use to kind of go try to do that. But it's a massive undertaking. So nice. I was curious how you fixed that. Let's go to other judges or mentors. Any other questions? And also, I just love the creativity on this project. I thought the fact that you were like not trying to just make the schedule that works for you, but like the optimum joy schedule that is great, where you're like hanging out with the best professors of your uni and learning a lot of stuff and making learning fun was such a cool component. Yeah, I think there's a lot of uses of a calendar like that of, hey, my Friday night is open. Actually, what would be the coolest thing for me to do during this time slot? So definitely a problem that's not just for college students. Cool. Well, last call for questions. Okay. Well, team, thank you so much. That was a great presentation. Let's go to the next team. And I believe the final team mealed it, which you'll also have to explain your name. Yeah, drop your repo in the Slack if you, or in the Zoom if you want to share. And let's turn it over to mealed it.
All right, let me share my screen really quick. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So Mealdits is our team name, and our members are Ethan, Joshua, Adon, myself, Yaya, and Abel. What Mealdits is a meal prep application. So meal prep application that automates the entire process. It generates a meal plan schedule and also creates meal prep recipes that include the ingredients, which will save you time. And yeah, that's pretty much it so far. And then Ethan will go through and explain more.
Are you guys able to see my screen?
I got it. Yep.
Perfect. So this is the front end of our app. We just had a little loading page here. We did have login and sign up buttons, and we just ran out of time implementing them. So we have everything in the back end built for it, but we just didn't have time to implement it. Once we hit get started, it goes to our main page. And so we enter in our different meal ideas and the ingredients. So I can put in spaghetti. I can put in noodles, spaghetti sauce, and meatballs. Does anyone have any meals that they would like to add? Any favorite meals?
Do some salmon, some risotto, and spinach. Let's just get Mediterranean kind of.
Risotto. How do you spell that?
Oh man, RISO. Guys, help me out. No, with an R. Yeah, with an R.
Without the B.
Risotto looks wild. Just you go R, remove the B on that, and then we're good.
There.
Right?
There
That's
we
how you
go.
spell it. Right on.
And I'll add a couple
chicken
more.
Alfredo.
Perfect.
Ethan.
I can try.
Can I add one more?
Yeah.
Let's go with honey sesame chicken breast, please. Thank you.
Oh wow.
Oh, I'm coming over for dinner. That sounds great.
Let's go. After we win, party over here.
Celebratory honey sesame chicken breast. Cool. This is looking awesome.
And I'll just add one more here. Once we have all our meals, we hit calculate meal plan. Usually you'd have a couple more ideas than this that you'd add in, but just for the demo. Calculate our meal plan, and it has what we'll have for lunch and dinner every day. So you don't have to plan ahead. This day I'm going to do this. This day I'm going to do this. But the other big thing when you're planning meals is you want to make sure you have everything. So you don't want to plan a meal and then you start cooking it and you realize you forgot just that one ingredient. So we also made it so that down here we have weekly grocery lists. So on week 1, on day 1, we go out and we buy all these ingredients. And that way we have the right ingredients for the whole week. And then we've got all the ingredients for each week. We also had a couple things that we wanted to add, but we ran out of time for. So like I said, with the login and sign up, and we were also going to have a database. So each user could have their saved meals. And based on that, we could feed it to Gemini and have it generate recommendations based on what you already like and maybe any dietary preferences. And that is it for the demo.
Great demo. I have thought I'll go through the rest of the presentation, but this is a great demo.
To add on that, Ethan, there was also another future implementation that didn't have enough time, which includes recipe list where you won't enter the meal, you just enter a bunch of ingredients or what your goals are. So you enter the ingredients and then the macro goal that you want to put in it, whether it's this many calories, and then using the Gemini API or other resources, they will be able to generate the calendar, the schedule based on the goals you enter.
All right, and then I guess we can go to the next slide. How do we make it? Our tech stack.
Oh, could you share your slides? I just have the meal calendar up.
I think I am.
Oh, Ethan, you gotta stop sharing your stuff. You gotta switch to Salvion's.
You can see it now.
Perfect.
All right. How did we make it? So we all use VS Code, GitHub, and then we use Python and Fast API for the back end. Front end, we use React and Vite with HTML and CSS. And then the database, what Ethan had just went over, was Firebase. And then what we all learned, I mean, you can probably read it, and then that is all. And then also, do you want us to put the repo in the Zoom?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. And then, yeah, that is the end.
Yeah, to expand on what we learned from this project, most of us we're not familiar with React, so I want to give a huge shout out first of all to all the team. Everyone worked really good, and it was a very collaborative effort. But huge shout out to Ethan for organizing it and also like taking us through some of the things that we were not familiar with. So
yeah, it was
For sure.
yeah, it was an exposure to the things that we were not used to, most of us. So yeah.
Yeah, big shout out to this team too. So this team was a united team across a bunch of different teams that came together. And you know, it's hard enough to build something in a couple of hours. It's especially hard if you're working with new team members and people from different skill levels and stuff. So just shout out to all the glue within this team that made it happen, so that y'all could come out with a project that is complete, looks good, and is useful. So big tip of the hat there. I have some questions, but I'm going to mix it up. And I'm going to say, judges, mentors, do you have some questions first? Great, because I'm a little selfish with my questions because I had a couple. So on your calendar view, where you have all the tiles of, hey, like here's like what you should eat per day. How did you make that? Is that like a wrapped list? Like, is that because dates are hard always. I'm curious, like, how did you pull that together? And then how did you is it like a div that you populate? Like, how did you do that?
Yeah, I made that part of it. That was just a div. I had a class for the calendar, and then I had a class for each individual section. And so it's just a list of the individual divs, which are, I had a certain height, a certain width, the colors that I wanted for each calendar day, and then I had the text inside for like lunch or dinner.
Awesome.
And I can actually, I
yeah.
can share my screen real quick too. So yeah, right here is what we're looking at.
Great. And how did y'all decide to work on this project? Because this project of like meal planning, it's like it's a real problem where it's like you gotta plan stuff, but you also don't want things to get boring. So how did you identify this as the problem that you guys wanted to tackle? Because it's a real one, but
Yeah, we started out by brainstorming a bunch of different ideas, and this is the one we ended up on. I make meals for my siblings at home. My parents both work, so it was a personal problem to me of scheduling out meals, and so I knew exactly what I wanted for that.
dude, right on. That's awesome on multiple levels. Very cool.
And when he suggested that, it was an automatic agreed from the team. You know, it's a challenge. Dieting is the hardest part of the being fit, so this will make it a lot easier.
Yeah, fitness is definitely made in the kitchen. Which
Yeah.
I have to remind myself as I go out to dinner after this tonight. So I'm like, oh no. That's great. And then tell me quickly about the login. So what did you have planned for the login? Sounds like you just were right there, but just got hit by time. What was going on there?
Yeah, if Yaya is in here, he can speak to that a little more. He did most of the work on the login. But it was basically Firebase. We were going to use a database to store information about the users and have the login and sign up button connect to Firebase. I've only ever used Firebase once, so I didn't know too much about it, just that we needed to connect it on the front end. But if Yaya is in here, he can talk a little bit more about that.
Yes, so the login does work from my end, but I was new to branches and like GitHub, so I couldn't make the login appear on their side of the project. Yeah, but it does work on my end though.
If I could add really quick, another thing that I learned was from I think it was the first presentation where they talked about the live share with VS Code, and I think it would have been a lot easier if we had started with that. We just had our GitHub repository, and we were all just pushing and pulling from that. So that's another thing we've learned.
Yeah, it's amazing how those tools for the job make all the difference